Ladies and gentlemen, they're all inside the interior of the United States.
How about the KKK?
All inside the interior of the United States. You can head out. The protest is outside. Thank you very much. Protest is outside.
You want money, bigot! You want money, bigot!
Damn, obviously calling back Jasmine Crockett's a classic attack against Marjorie Greene, but Marjorie Greene was having this town hall. I'm frankly shocked that she was having one, not only because she's a Republican and they've been getting a lot of protests like this, but also because I can't imagine a person less quick on their feet in being able to respond to things like that. Admittedly, she didn't really have a response. She just said, "Get out, the protests out there. If you don't agree with me, you don't belong in this room." That's not clever or anything. But it ended up getting worse because there were a lot of protesters and she was not happy to just cancel them and send them out of the room. We also had a little bit of state violence. And so the police were called in and they whipped out the tasers. Take a look.
At least 3 people were physically removed by police officers.
Stop. 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 Are you really doing this? Stop. Are you really doing this?
Acworth police said 3 people were arrested.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
He grabbed me.
Yes. Don't do this. It's not working. It's not working.
Rewind that.
Do it. Taser. Stop.
Officers used stun guns on at least 2 men as they tried to remove them from the building.
And Marjorie Greene just watches. I'm sure that she's loving every second of it because you're not supposed to impede what cops are doing. You're not supposed to like hold them away with your arm like we saw that one guy. She's not gonna stand for that in this context. If it's January 6th, you can literally beat them to death. You can take a Trump flagpole and you can bash their brains in and she'll actually cheer you. She'll say she only wishes you had an assault rifle. But in this context, be nice to the cops, obviously. And she said this, bearing in mind that obviously she's not a big fan of free speech. If it disagrees with her, this is a town hall. This is not a political rally. This is not a protest. If you ended up wanting to protest, if you want to shout and chant, we will have you removed. Just like that man was thrown out, we will not tolerate it. Which is particularly rich from the person that, of course, famously did this. Oh, she loved heckling and shouting and hooting and hollering when it was disrupting, not something important like a town hall, something stupid and pointless like the State of the Union. Then it was okay. So what if she had been dragged out? What if she had been tased? Apparently, according to her, that's how you're supposed to respond to these things. The protest is outside, Marjorie, okay? If you don't want to agree, if you're not gonna be well behaved, then you could be dragged out, maybe thrown on the floor, maybe tased. Again, that's not my standard, that's Marjorie Greene's standard. So the next time when she's sitting in the audience of the State of the Union and President Ocasio-Cortez is speaking and Marjorie Greene has never been more jealous in her life, if you interrupt, we might have to have the cops on hand. That's all I'm saying. What do you think, Sharon?
What I just saw there is, I feel like it was mislabeled. This is America, or was this like Putin's Russia or elsewhere? It's disgusting. And by the way, she probably would have shown people around the day before, okay, if it was January 6th or the week before, just kind of give them a lay of the land. That's my theory anyway, is what would have been done. Well, this is what a police state is. What's good for her is certainly not good for you. I thought in America, you could shout out. Nobody yelled fire in a crowded room. I didn't hear that, okay? They shouted out. And to be physically assaulted and treated inhumanely. Did those people look like they'd ever been tased before? And these cops doing her bidding, that's exactly what a police state is.
Yeah.
We're here, folks. How many more examples do we need to show people? Not this audience, but people out there. Be afraid. This
100%.
is, wow.
Yeah, and you're totally right. We know that our audience is obviously familiar with the stuff. Many of them go to those sorts of things, but share the video, make sure that other people see that this is happening. And also, look, you can just yell out and scream and not make a real point and disrupt things. But that person was making a good point. Like she's talking about like we have to root out these terrorist organizations, MS-13. What about the KKK? That's a terrorist organization. I'm not exaggerating, that's not hyperbolic. It's a terrorist organization. So if you are a member of the KKK, should you be deported to El Salvador? I want to normalize asking that question. Again, I don't want people in the KKK to be deported to El Salvador. If you're an American citizen, that's not how America's supposed to work. But that's obviously a far more historically damaging terrorist organization than MS-13. So are you okay with that? Other militias, violent, racist militias, should they be sent to El Salvador? Start asking this question.